Welcome to an introduction of the new Forté Power Clean machine. This machine is a fully mobile unit, runs directly off a 12-volt battery. It's supplied with all the connections to connect to fuel systems and the intake system. It offers 4 services for fuel system, diesel turbo, air intake and diesel particulate filter. So if we first look at the fuel system we can connect to petrol and diesel vehicles to offer a clean directly to the fuel injectors and to the fuel system. So once we've connected the vehicle up to the fuel system, we then select the fuel system program and we can select the time for how long we want the vehicle to run. Fast is 30 minutes, heavy is 60 minutes, or we can select a time anywhere from 2 minutes up to 90 minutes. So we'll set this machine for 15 minutes. Once we've done that, we set the pressure and the supply pressure for the fuel system. Once we've got that set, we can then press start. If we're happy that there's no leaks and we've got good return to the machine, then we can start the vehicle up and do a direct clean to the fuel system and to the injectors. Once the operation is complete, if the fluid has run through the system or we run out of time, it will display on the screen and the bleeper will alert you that the operation has been completed. At the end of that process, we just return back to the home screen, disconnect the vehicle and take the vehicle for a road test. For cleaning a diesel turbo system, when we select the diesel turbo program, we connect the machine exactly the same as we would for cleaning a fuel system, but just use a different fluid. It's a specially formulated fluid to clean after combustion. So again, we will set the time of how long we want the vehicle to run. We will set the pressure and the supply pressure for the fuel system. Press the start button and run the treatment through the vehicle to clean the variable vanes of the turbo. Again, once the operation is complete, whether we've run out of fluid or whether we've run out of time, we will get the operation complete symbol up on the screen and the machine will bleep to alert you that the operation is complete. At the end of the process, we can return to the home screen and then take the vehicle out again for an extended road test. For the cleaning of the air intake system and inlet valves, once the program is selected, we can use the machine for petrol and diesel vehicles. We first set the time of how long we want to inject fluid into the intake manifold. This can be set between 1 and 2 seconds. Once selected, we then select the time between injections, and this ranges from 15 up to 30 seconds. During the cleaning process, we can actually adjust this time whilst the vehicle is running to suit the needs of the vehicle. Once we've got our time and our distance set, pressing the start button, we will be prompted to add the atomizer back into the tank and to prime the system. It's very important that we prime the system before we put the atomizer into the intake manifold. Once we press start, the system will be primed. This operates at 5 bar of pressure. And once priming is complete, a screen will tell us to add the atomizer to the vehicle and start the treatment process. So once priming is complete, the machine is now asking us to add the atomizer to the intake manifold so we can start the treatment process. So we run the vehicle up, set the engine speed and the air intake through the holes in the atomizer. Once we're all set and the vehicle's ready, we're then ready to start the process. So cleaning the intake system is a very sensitive process and we always must take care when cleaning the intake and listen to the vehicle, and the vehicle will tell us what it needs. If we need to pause the treatment during the process and let the engine rest and let the engine breathe, we can very simply press the start button and that will pause the introduction of fluid into the intake manifold. Once we're ready and we need to start that process again, very simply pressing the start button will again start the process and reintroduce fluid into the intake manifold. Once the operation is complete, we will display on the sign on the screen to say that the operation has been completed. Once this has happened, we can then return to the home screen, disconnect the vehicle and return it back to how it was originally fitted. The machine also offers us a function for cleaning diesel particulate filters. So once selected, we have DPF cleaning and DPF heavy cleaning. So we would use DPF cleaning up to 70% soot loading and DPF heavy cleaning above 70% soot loading. The difference on the software is the waiting time once we've introduced the product directly into the diesel particulate filter. So we connect the machine directly to the DPF through the pressure sensor pipe. Once we select the program, we will then introduce the fluid directly into the DPF. Once completed and the tank has been emptied of 1 litre of fluid, it will then bring us a wait time for how long we leave the vehicle before we start it up. So once we come to the end of the waiting time, the machine will prompt us to start the vehicle and run the vehicle between 2,000 and 2,500 RPM for 5 minutes. Once the engine speed has been set, we can then press the start button and this will give us another countdown for that waiting time whilst the engine's running. So at the end of the countdown, the machine will change over to display to allow the vehicle to idle, and we add 1 litre of DPF flush to the tank. Once we've added the product to the tank, we then press start and this will introduce the DPF flush whilst the vehicle is sat on idle. Once the flush has been introduced into the DPF, the machine will then prompt us again to run the vehicle between 2,000 and 2,500 RPM for a further 5 minutes. Once the engine speed has been set, again pressing the start button, we will display the time countdown on the screen. So at the end of the countdown, the operation will be complete and we can disconnect the vehicle from the machine and we take the vehicle out on the road for an extended road test. By pressing the stop and return button, that will return us back to the home screen. So once disconnected, then the vehicle's out on the road. So once the service is complete, if we have any fluid left in the tank, we can empty the machine ready for its next service to take place. All we need to do is go into any of the programs and we can press and hold the start button for 3 seconds. And this will completely empty the tank of all of its fluid, ready for the next service. The machine offers very simple operation, offers the 4 services for fuel system, turbo, air intake and DPF from a fully mobile unit. In the event of a problem with the machine, then we have a fault code system built inside. And the fault code will display on the screen to any problems with the machine itself. On purchasing the machine, that comes along with all the connections and fittings to connect to the fuel system. It also offers a 12-month warranty from the date of delivery.